Okay, let's start this thing up again. All right, let's go ahead and go over to our example screen here. Again, as usual, we're going to start our Apache and MySQL services. Okay, and now we should be able to get to we should be able to get to it. Why are we not able to get to it? What's going on? It's running. Is this what I get for not starting this thing up? Let's see. Okay, there it is. That was weird. All right. So what I've done here is I've added a few tables so that we can do some example queries where we can do some example queries that involve multiple tables, just like we showed in our SQL discussion yesterday. But first, let's start with let's create a table. I'm going to create an actors table. Okay, so we're going to follow our thing. So instead of coming here and saying create a table here, I want to use the SQL to create a table. Okay, so we need to create table. Let's call it an actor. Let's call it the actor table. All right. Let's see. So what column should we have in our actor table? Oh, actually, shouldn't be. I'm typing in Java. What column should we have in our actor table? Okay, name should be what type? Char, yeah, maybe 20. And let's say that these cannot be null. See what other ideas are y'all giving me? Let me see. What other ideas are you guys giving me? Age. Yeah, age int. All right. Let's make it a small int. And we can say that can be null. Like that can be null. We don't want everybody to have to give their name, right? Let's see. Well, it's just an idea. Tarana, that's a good idea. Okay, so let's see. Do we want to have a primary key on this? Say, yeah, let's have a primary key. What do you think? What should the primary key be? Yeah, we can make their primary key be email. That's a good idea. All right. Yeah, we can keep it this way. Let's see. Oh wait, let's see. I think this needs to not have a column. Oh, it's up here. Okay. There we go. So let's see what happens when we try to create this table. Hope it works. All right, let's take a look. Let's go back to our table. Oh, there's an actor table. That's good. Structure. Email would just be a varchar, I would imagine. Tirana. So here, these are our columns, right? Notice that these columns that we said not null to, they cannot be null. Age, however, can be. The default is a null value, which means if we don't put a value in, it will just make it null. And defaults for the others, we don't have that. Okay. Let's see some. Let's see. I got an idea. I want to alter this. I realize, you know what? I want to know what country my actors come from. Well, first, let's do one thing first. Let's do browse to see. Select star from actor. Nope, we don't have any data yet. We didn't put any data in. We only created the table, right? Right, exactly. We need to insert data if we're going to. Let's insert into actor. Let's see. Somebody's favorite actor. Give me your data. Give me your information for this. Give me a good actor. Oh, come on. Everybody has a favorite actor. Yeah, come on. I had a feeling somebody was going to say Kamal Sunal. How old? How he's not alive anymore, but how old should we make him? Okay, 75. And email, we can just make it Kamal at. Okay. So now I want to copy this because I'm gonna hold on to it. So now if we go and look in our table, now we have, where is he? Oh, there it is, right there. There's our information. All right. So now let's say I want to add a column. I want to alter table actor. I want to add, let's see, add column, right? I want to add a column. And I want to add a country because I want to know what country they come from, and make it a varchar. Okay, let's see if that worked. There you go, right? There we go. All right, so, but we don't have the data there, and let's see, was it? But country could be null. Now, what would have happened if I had said country could not be null, but Kamal Sunal doesn't have a country right now, right? Let's see what would have happened. Let's see. Alter table drop country. Wait, drop. Is it drop column? Alter table drop. Is it column? trying to remember how to do this. Well, let's see. Let's add a column because this shouldn't work. What I'm trying to say is this shouldn't work. Let's say add. Thank you, Murat. Yes. Alter table actor. Drop country. That should work. Okay, so now if we look at the table structure, we should see the country is no longer there. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this was I wanted to alter the table. I wanted to add a column called country, var char 20 not null. And I want to say that it can't be null so that every actor has to have a country. And let's see if this is going to work for us. Okay, now it says it did it, but let's see what happens. Let's see. When we look at the structure, there's a country, can't be null. But what do you think it did with Kamal Sunal? Did it automatically populate him with Turkey? Take a look at the data. That's interesting. It doesn't say null. All right. Yeah, it's just empty varchar. So it's not null though. It's not the null value, which should tell us again that null does not mean just the empty string. Null is an unknown value. So let's give Kamal his country. What country is he from? Oh, we don't want to do all that. Ugh. Sometimes I don't like the automatic SQL here that MySQL does. I want to write it myself. 8 set country. Cool. Where's Kamal Sunal from? Hey, good. Somebody knew. Right. Now, if we do this right now, this will be fine because the only row in our database is one person, one actor, and he happens to be from Turkey, right? But normally we would want to make sure that we would get the one that we're trying to, right? Where you could do it equals name equals Kamal, right? You could do where surname equals Sunal. You could say where email equals whatever. Right. We would normally, if we're wanting to update a specific record, a specific row, we would use the primary key. Okay. All right. Let's see. So did that work? Did that give us what we want? Yep, there it is. And if I'm not mistaken, MySQL allows you to kind of click on it to change it. So if I wanted to do Turkey, yeah. Okay, it does an automatic update for us there. It does an update where you can click on it here, double click on it, and change values in the user interface. That's nice. Okay, but what we're wanting to learn here is wanting to talk about how to do these queries here. All right. Let's see. Let's talk about some queries that involve multiple tables. So let's see what we have. We have movies. I've added what country. I guessed what country these things were filmed in. I know Star Wars was filmed in a lot of different places. So was Avengers, but I wasn't sure about the X. I think it's Ex Machina. I think Mustafa, you corrected me after. I guess we can't change it here. Okay. So I guessed on some of these, right? So we have a new column here because it connects back to our country table, all right? And what capital, what population there is, and I wanted to have some different data so we could do some different things, okay? Let's see. I also added a director table to show, and I just made up ages, right? Made up random ages for these guys. All right. So what we want to do is we want to try to look at some different SQL things, right, involving multiple tables, because that's where we kind of left off, right? Some multiple tables, some subqueries, right? Now, let's say we want to find out all movies that were made in a country that had greater than 100 million population. Okay. Well, we could say select from country. Where the population is greater than 100 million. Okay. So we got two countries in there, right? Now, what we could do is we could say, okay, let's America and China. So we could say, okay, select from movie m.star where where m.country in, what were our two down here? America and China. All right, let's see. Great, good. So we only got movies from America and China. Great. All right. Now that was a lot of extra work, wasn't it? That was a lot of work to get there, wasn't it? What we could have done though is notice that instead of finding out the countries and then putting in here, we could have just taken our original query and put it in there, right? And this is where I'm going to show you a little bit of formatting stuff, right? So this is our formatting. We want to have these things line up. Like have that line up. Okay. So now notice that our subquery is going to tell us what country we're looking for, and then we're going to use the result of that subquery to get the movies, right? And we should get this same list of 6 rows. We should. All right. Notice it's the same 6 rows. All right. But here we did it through a subquery. We could have also done this not through a subquery. 0.0037 seconds. Remember that. Where m.country equals c.country and c.population is greater than 100 million. Okay, this would be another way that we could do it. And we should get, again, the same 6 rows again. Same ones, right? Multiple different ways of doing the same thing, right? Do note, though, that one of them took a little bit longer. Right? That's not always going to be the case. Sometimes this query will be shorter, sometimes it will be longer. I would say when you start dealing with databases that are millions upon millions of rows, then you can have a better idea of how fast certain queries will run, and therefore have an idea of how to structure your queries better. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at the total budget of movies based on country. Okay, so what we want is we want the country, we want the budget, right? But what we want is we want to know, like, for each country, what was the total budget of the movies made in that country. Right. The sum of budget. Okay. Now wait a second. What's going on here? Weren't there movies made in Turkey? Oh, that's better. We forgot the group by. Okay. Also notice this query title, this column title, kind of funky. We're not going to be able to use that in a user interface. We probably need to give it a name. Right, like that. Okay. We could also say, okay, what was the highest budget movie based on country? There we go. Okay. So now what if I want to know all countries? So I want to get all countries from our country table, but I want to know what the largest budgeted movie was from that country. And if there was no movies in our database for that country, I want it to be 0. How can we do that? Let's see. How can we do that? Because, like, notice that we have America and Turkey here, but we also had China and Canada in our country database, in our country table. There's got to be a way, right? You guys remember our outer joins? All right. Could do union. Okay, that's one option for sure. How would you do that, Fatih Furkan? I like it. I like the idea. What? I'm assuming a select. From country. Maybe like this. Let's see what happens. Oh, well, that ain't right. That's not right. Something's not right. America shows up twice. Turkey shows up twice. That's not how we wanted this. What did I do wrong? How do I get rid of Turkey and America from the second time that they show up? There's something not right. How do I do that? Distinct on which one? Here? No. No. That didn't work. Good idea, but that didn't seem to do it. What's the problem? Which one? First of all, think about which one of these, which America do I not want? Which America do I want to get rid of? Which Turkey do I want to get rid of from my result? Right, where budget is 0, which means that this is the America and Turkey from which table? From the country table. So that means that something's wrong with this part of my query. Right? I want to only get records from the country table that don't exist in the movie table, right? So I need to add a where clause. A little formatting again here. Okay. So I need to say where the country doesn't exist in the movie table, right? So there's a lot of different ways I can do that, right? Where I could say c.country not in, select country from movie, right? I could say where the country is not in the movie table. I could say where not exists. Select star from movie, where country equals c.country, right? There's lots of different ways. You could even say where where select count from that equals 0. These are all ways to do the same thing. In fact, let me show you why. Let me show you that this works. So now I only have one America and Turkey, and it's the ones with the budget. Not exists. These two. Oh wait. Oh, where? Sorry. Where not exists. All right. And then the one that I would default to, the one that this is the one that I would most likely type, mostly because it's the least amount of typing, and it also makes the most sense to me. where it says where the country is not in the movie table, right? This one makes the most sense to me, right? And so that's what we're looking for. All right. Now let's add a little bit of what we talked about today to this one. Where I'm going to create a view called max budget, and it's going to be this. This is going to be the view. Okay. Now notice that now I have a view section over here. Max budget. Now if I do select star from max budget, what am I going to get? I want to get the same rows that we already looked at, right? And the cool thing is now I can do stuff like this. I could do select star from max budget where max budget is greater than 0. And now I only get the results where there's a max budget. I could say, I forgot to retain the query, so I keep forgetting to do that. Who was it? Which one of you guys was it that told me how to do that? Where max budget equals 0. Look at that, right? So I can use this view like it's a table. And the reason I want to pull that out, the reason why I want to talk about that is because let's say China. Let's make a movie in China. Let's add a movie to China. Let's see. Let's insert a movie here. Let's make it Mulan. Mulan was in China, right? Mulan was what? 123. We'll call it Disney. Action budget. I don't know how much the budget for that movie was. Just make it that. Okay. So now we have added a movie to China. Now let's go back to our max budget and see that, look, now China has an entry in the max budget view. We didn't change anything in the max budget view. It's the same as it was before, but because it's accessing the underlying data, because it's accessing the tables underneath, this is dynamic. It automatically gets updated. Okay. So this is fun, right? Views are lots of fun. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and end on the actual examples here because I do want to have fun, a little fun at the end. Okay. All right. So this comic that I posted, I don't know if all of you saw it, but it's kind of funny because the whole idea is that what happens if we wanted to insert, let's say we wanted to insert a new actor. All right. And let's say we insert into actor use. And what was the actor columns? What did they look like? Let's see, what was the order? Age, country, email. So age. This isn't right. This isn't the order. Name, surname, age, email, country. So let's say my favorite actor. Age. Gosh, he is so old, isn't he? He's been around forever. Email. And what was the last one? What was the last column? country. Let's make him America. Okay. So this is how we would normally do this, right? This is how we would normally insert a new record. This doesn't refresh because we need to go ahead and refresh it. So there he is there. Okay, so that's how we would normally do that. But what happens if somebody were to name their child, as in the comic that's shown, Bobby drop table students, right? So let's give them, instead of drop table students, let's say we named him Robert, and here for his surname we named him close parentheses, drop table actor. Right. Now we're going to have a problem, right? We're going to have and this basically is a comment line, right? Is there a comment? What is my SQL comments? Yeah, what is my SQL comments? But think about what would happen in this situation if this was a comment that then removed this out the rest of the way, right? What would happen? Right. Well, for starters, we wouldn't have the column count doesn't match, right? So what happens if instead of here, let's say we expected that it came at the end here. Robert something, and that they're their country, we listed it as that. Okay, so now this comment basically takes this at the end here. So now let's say that the last name was the last column in an insert statement. Okay, here, okay, we're inserting into actor, Robert something, blah, 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 and then we did this. What would happen? I know this is a little bit confusing because I meant to put last name as the end here, but okay. So here's the question. So if we look back at the comic, look back at the comic, and what was his name? His name was Robert. Was his first name, and his last name was close quote. Or his last name was quote. Semicolon, drop table student. All right, so this was his first name, which we would have put here in a first name field. And then what happened was the last name closed off the string quote. This is, so we're putting it here, right? I'm giving you guys a little bit of a lesson in security here. All right, this quote, if we took this whole thing, let's imagine normally we would expect the country here. Right? Let's say this is what we would normally expect to see. And instead of students, we're saying drop table actor. Okay. So now let's take this entire string and put it right there. Okay. Where this would normally act as a comment. This normally would act as a comment that would get rid of everything after it. Is that what a comment is in MySQL? I think that's a quote. What is? Comments is pound. Okay, pound. Okay. So basically, instead of that double hyphen here, it would be a pound instead. There, like that. So now if we run this query is going to insert our record. But this query will do what? Well, let's see. We're out of time, so let's see what happens. Well, oh, there's a Harrison for unique key. Let's see. Okay, so we insert it into that, and then we look for our actor table, and it's gone. We lost our actor table. Can't get it back. So that's kind of what the joke is of that comic, is that person, by naming their son something that when inserted into a query string, dropped a table named students, looked for a table named students and dropped it, that school lost their student table. All right. So that's kind of, so when we go to put data into our thing, make sure that you check for things like that. Make sure that we check. That's basically, that is something that hackers will try to do in order to mess with databases. Is they will close off string. They'll use a thing like a close off the string to end the query that the system is trying to run. Then they will put in some dangerous SQL and close it off with a comment in the MySQL like this. Right. So they'll close off that. They'll put some dangerous SQL that they want to inject. It's also called, the term is SQL injection. Right. Look up SQL injection if you're interested in kind of how that's done. All right. It's something that's security. If you're interested in cybersecurity, it's something that we do. Right. Exactly. The table's gone. All right. We can't bring it back. All right, all the data's gone, all the table's gone. By the way, don't do this to the Octanese University system, okay? Don't change your name to something like that. All right. All right. And this is what I was telling you. Make sure when you drop a table, that the data's gone, everything's gone. Okay. So it's a very powerful tool, and it's very dangerous. All right. All right, guys. So I hope that was informative. I'm sorry I kind of stumbled over the end there a little bit, but I hope it was informative for you. One final thing, next week we will have a quiz. We'll have a quiz on Monday afternoon's lecture. So make sure you're ready for that. It'll just basically be a quiz on this SQL stuff. Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments? Nope. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you in a little less than a week.